Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the ICF. We are back, and for real this time, for the 80th time. I don't even remember how long it's been. It's been way too long. We are ready to get back into it for UFC 5, but first, we have one last send-off that we are ready to do. I've been trying to put this together for the last couple weeks, and I am so excited to run this. We are running the first ever King of the CAFs tournament. Um, I mean, what else is there to say? We open this tournament to everybody, ICF veterans alike, newbies. We do have a lot of newbies. We do have a lot of veterans. We even got a Hall of Famer and a few former champs. So, sorry if I'm stuttering a little bit. I'm recording this about 4:30 in the morning. I just really wanted to get this pumped out for y'all. Um, yeah, so let's go over the format real quick because I think there's going to be some confusion here. So, first of all, each console is going to be split into two separate groups. We are going to have a group stage, a preliminary stage, if you will. Um, it's going to be ran like a round robin. So essentially, what that means is every fighter is going to fight every other fighter in that same group they're in. So each group is there were six fighters in each group. It worked out almost perfectly like that, except for the PlayStation side. There's only 11 people who signed up, and so one of those groups is going to be one person short. I ran a random number generator to see who got the lucky buy, lucky or unlucky, looking how depending on how you look at it. But yeah, so you're gonna fight everybody in each group for a total of 5 fights, or four if you're one of the lucky few in that smaller PlayStation group. Every win is going to score a singular point. Um, and this is just a decision win, a KO, a sub, TKO, however you do it. Doesn't matter what round. A finish will net you an additional 2 points for a total of three. So you will get 3 points for a finish, 1 point for a decision win. Losing, as usual, does not give you any points. However, if you are finished at any point in the fight, KO, sub, TKO, you will lose a point from your total standings. After all the fights are done, after you complete all five of your fights, and everybody else in your group does the same, the top three fighters with the most points out of each group are going to move on to our final bracket. And the most exciting part about this, the winner of that final bracket, the winner who goes on to win in the grand finals, will not only be crowned the final champion of UFC 4, the final champion of a very special era for this league. We were founded during UFC 4, pretty early on. Um, you know, we've been through thick and thin. We've been dead for a long time, but while when we were active and alive, we really had something special with this league. And the winner's going to be the last person to ever be the champion in UFC 4. And on top of that, they are going to receive an opportunity to be the first champion in UFC 5, the inaugural champion of UFC 5. What I mean by opportunity is if they don't get the game, if they don't want to shill out $70 to EA, or they don't got the console, or however, we'll figure out a way to work around that. But if you win this tournament, you are guaranteed a spot in that inaugural UFC title fight, UFC 5 title fight. It's going to be amazing. We're going to run a separate tournament when UFC 5 launches in UFC 5 to see who is going to challenge the winners of these tournaments to decide who's going to be the first champion. Yeah. The rules. Let's go over the rules real quick. Creative fire only. It's King of the Cats for a reason. Creative fighters only, obviously. You may pick any archetype calf. So we're not so used to we try to keep a well, you have to pick a certain archetype for 3 fights. You got to pick this certain calf for 3 fights, and then after 3 fights, you can try and switch. We're not going to worry about that for this tournament. Any calf, any subclass, you can switch it up. You can counter pick your opponent if you know he's wrestling heavy. You can go with the wrestler. You can go, if you need a little bit more kickboxing, you don't got to worry about wrestling. Go with the boxer, showboat, whatever. Um, whatever you may need. Does not have to stay the same throughout the tournament. Every fight is going to be 3 rounds, accelerated clock. Um, I think we're going to try and move away from the real time clock, unless the simulation mode. I mean, I know in UFC 5 they talked about they have a lot of cool presets that they have. And the simulation one's going to be a real time. So if the simulation one's great, we might stick with the real time clock, but I think we're going to be leaning towards more accelerated, traditional, league oriented rule set. WFA arena, preferably. It really doesn't matter as long as you're not in the backyard or Kumite or, really anywhere besides those two arenas. But WFA arena would be awesome because we are going to try and not stream, but we're going to try and record and commentate a few of these fights. Probably give a couple updates on the tournament. We'll see the key matchups and what we got to look forward to, and we'll try and commentate some of them and you know get back in the flow of things. At least for that reason, at least one fighter needs to be recording the fight. It can be posted to YouTube or Twitch, is what we did in the past. I don't, I mean, Kick, I guess. Any other, or it can be streamed to YouTube, and we can go through the VOD. But this is very important. I'm not sure about Kick or any other platform. I do know Twitch though. You have to make sure your VODs are set to save. You have to go into your channel settings on Twitch and set it to your VODs will save for 2 weeks. It'll say save VOD previous VODs for 14 days or something like that. It is by default turned off for some reason. So if you are new to Twitch or you're making a Twitch account for this, um, be sure to go into those settings and change that setting so we can actually go back and watch that good fight. We don't want to have to redo the fight or whatever. Hopefully it doesn't come to that, but um, standing guillotine is the only choke or submission we're going to ban for this tournament. I don't really think we got to worry about anything breaking too much. Standing gilly is really the only broken one. I mean, it's not, it's easy to defend, but I mean, we're not here to cheese and try and get easy wins out. Again, we're here to have fun. Say in the same vein, rule in the same vein, no spamming. If you're just jab straight, jab straight, jab straight, jab straight for 3 rounds, or you just keep clinching, you clinch 20 times in a minute, I mean, you're just shooting, or you're shooting for your life takedowns. Knee elbow spam. I mean, I get there's a lot of Muay Thai guys who are the greatest of all time in ICF history. Kip, he loves his knees, he loves his elbows. That's fine. I mean, just don't overdo it. Don't be knee, elbow, knee, elbow, knee, elbow, elbow, elbow. Mix it up a little bit. Be a little bit realistic about it. We're not a sim league, but let's not try and cheese or anything like that. We're just trying to keep it fun. That's why we all do it. Um, but other than that, let's just get on to our matchups. So like I said, I put these in a random number generator or random list generator, and I just went through the list. Whatever name came up first got put on group one. Next one got put in group two, so on and so forth until we filled out the bracket. We're going to go take a look at the Xbox side of things. And as you can see in group one, we got Austin JG, otherwise known as Jake Paul for any of you longtime ICF vets out there. He's a former champion. He's going to be one to watch in that bracket. We got a newcomer, Zaddy Dynamite. I believe he is a newcomer. To be honest, I didn't really look fact check if he was or not. We also got B3JT or BSDJT, however he wants to go by. Um, J Jeremy Thuransky or something like that. I can't remember the name. I told you it's been way too long. You know, he's a striker through and through. He's gonna be a fun one to watch. The master of the flying knee is is his style. Um, I think he's gonna put on probably the most fun fights in that group. We also got TFA John Cage in group one. John Cage is actually on my list of fighters of note. He has a 12-18 record from what I could find in the ICF. I believe that is the record for the most fights in ICF history. He has a losing record technically. I mean, he has more wins than most people in the ICF, but he does have a losing record. Three of those losses come to one of the greats, one of our four Hall of Famers, Dagu Altune. He lost three times to Dagu for the belt. Um, he kind of has that role of perpetual journeyman, and he's always been on the PlayStation side. He's in the Xbox bracket now, so this is going to be fun to see if he can make a difference. See if he's been training. See if you know, he's looking to make some impacts. I've already heard him talking about how he's just so excited that Kip and Dagu can't ruin his chances to win the belt. That it's going to have to be someone else this time. We got Kenny the Duck in Group One, and I believe he is another newcomer. And then to round it off, it is yours truly, Brian Anderson. Look at that. Um, I've actually never competed in the ICF. I've always tried to stay out of it, but I thought we're gonna have a little bit of fun. Why not? Uh, so yeah, I'm coming for that belt, boys. Uh, let's look at group number two. We got Dino 76410. Again, another newcomer, I believe. Um, it's going to be very interesting to see how all these newer fighters do. See what their style is. And they might even be they might be very experienced guys, but they might not use CAFs very often. They might not be a creative fighter specialist. And I mean, it's a totally different game when you're playing creative fighters because the stats are just so weird. The move sets are unique. I mean, you're creating different stances. I mean, it's just a whole new game, and that's one thing I love about the creative fighters, and I hope they really expand on that in UFC 5. We get a lot more options to really be creative with it. Alice Nair, I probably butchered that name 1,000 times, and I guess I'll bet you I'll butcher it again here in about 5 minutes. Another newcomer, along with Zachary Shark. So number two looks to be a lot of newcomers looking to make a name for themselves, and they do have one name. They do have a name that they can really build off of, and that is Big Bobby Diesel himself. He is in group number two. He is the first Xbox champion of the modern ICF era. So the ICF started as a feeder league for another creative fighter league, and it was really small. I mean, maybe a dozen people at the time, and really, there wasn't really enough to really keep it sustained. But then we kind of grew. We got a lot more fresh blood, and we kind of restarted the league. And he was actually our first champion of that era. Um, Went on a four-fight win streak. Beat Oshin McGranagan for the title. I believe he defended it against Oshin too. Um, yeah, Bobby Diesel. He is a fan favorite. Great boxing. Um, I believe a total record of 5-4 in the ICF, from what I could tell. That is not counting exhibitions. He is really I mean he's one of our league commissioners as well, and he's done a lot for the ICF, putting on exhibitions, helping put on these shows, especially when wasn't able to do it. And he's one of the reasons we are as big as we are. Him and John Cage both. Big thank yous to both of them. Before we move on, and then uh, let's keep going. Group two, bro. I'm not even gonna try it, bro. That's what we're gonna call him, bro. Bro, I've not heard of him. Or if I have, it's been 2 years since we've been doing this, so he might be a newer face, new to me at least. And then to round it off in the Xbox group number two in the whole tournament side for the Xbox, Davis, old Dennis. He is one of the most entertaining fighters on the roster. I mean, there's not much to say. He has a very unique style. FOI, Flying Orca Incorporated, representing. I mean, Divas. I mean, words can't describe him. I'm trying to think of his style. I sparred him about 5 times earlier tonight, and I mean, I got my ass kicked most of the time. So I mean, I'm excited to see what he does in this tournament. To see if he can go on a little bit of a tear, and who knows, make that final bracket, maybe win that grand Grand Prix, take home his first ever championship. I think he's had a championship, but I don't think it was an official championship, by the way. So he's looking to get some legit gold out of this one. Let's move on to the PlayStation side. Um, let's take a look at group number one. Group number one, this is going to be a good one to watch. I mean, you have so many good matchups, so many good fighters. To start it off, the first pick out of the PlayStation side was Stone Cold himself. Give me a hell yeah. Former champion, 13-9 record. He's a multi-time champion. He came in the scene, into the league. He got two really quick wins, and then he got a really big upset against Dago Otune, one of the greatest fighters in the ICF, to win the belt in his third ever fight. And I mean, yeah, he won. I mean, he won the belt multiple times after that. He has a winning record. So I mean, obviously he's a dude. He's a fighter. But I mean, that is really the one moment I can distinctly remember, that big upset. And yeah, another FOI representative, Kelvin Camuno, or Kelvin Lamb, as he used to be referred to. Yeah, again, Flying Orca Incorporated. They love those flying knees. They always put on a good scrap. Um, Not much to say, but stay tuned. That is all I can say. KIA Jimmy Slick. Jimmy Slick. He's a character. I'm excited to see him maybe get into it with Kelvin, and maybe Stone Cold too. I think Stone Cold will and him will put on a really good fight. And then we have this MXR II. Again, another newcomer. We have a lot of these newcomers that I've never heard of, or they're new to me. They're newcomers to me, and I'm really excited to see what he can do. He is in a very tough group. Got a tough draw to for your first ever ICF event, but he's gonna try and make the best of it. And then we got the one, the only Kip. CIP are the three letters that strike fear into everybody in that PlayStation tournament. He is, without a doubt, the greatest of all time in the ICF, at least for UFC 4. I think he will go on to cement his legacy even further in UFC 5. But I mean, let me just list some of his accolades. I went back and he he has a total record of 16-3. He is a two-time champion, two-time with a he put together a win streak of 7 fights in a row. I don't have any proof, but I think that is very high up there for the highest win streak in the ICF history. Um, I can almost guarantee you this is another record. 7 total title defenses. He had two in his first reign, and then he had five straight title defenses in his second reign as ICF champion. Um, but I think the one thing I remember him most for, the one fight I can remember very vividly, very clearly, is when he headlined ICF on ESFL #1 with the fellow PlayStation Go Dagu Othune in the main event of our first event on the ESFL channel as an ESFL affiliate. I went back and watched that fight the other night. I mean, it is great. Chills. There's not anything else I can say about him besides just absolute positiveness. He's amazing. He's another one who has really helped with the league, especially him, Dylan Audrey, and Kelvin are the PlayStation guys that have really stepped up and helped the league, especially when I was gone. And I cannot thank them enough for what he's done for my league and our league. And to round out that killer group, we have Dylan Audrey. He has a 13-5 total record. He's just kind of a gatekeeper, kind of looking to prove himself. He's had a couple title fights that didn't go his way. He's racked up a few good wins, good quality wins against quality names on really good win streaks, but he just hasn't been able to put a belt around his waist. And I think he's looking to change that come UFC 5. And I think this tournament is the stepping stone to that. And let's look at the lucky fellas who got PlayStation #2, group #2. Stanza Man, again, another newcomer I've not heard of, new to me. Austin JG, again, Jake Paul, for those who don't know. And let me just let you know about Jake Paul's stats. He's 8-4 on the Xbox side. He's never competed in the PlayStation, in the ICF. He he's a former champ. He's had a standout performances against Bang Bang You Dig, one of the best players in UFC 4, Block Break Bang, as I like to refer him to, and his big rival, Oisin McGranagan. Um, he's a big name, really good fighter, likes to talk a little bit of shit. Um, entertaining, entertaining. He's going to be a fun one to watch on both sides, on the PlayStation and Xbox. And then we got Alan Sayer. Alan Sayer. I told you I was going to butcher that name again in about 5 minutes. Um, and to round out that PlayStation group, we have MV, another newcomer, and Perk Cobain, which is a funny name. And yeah, so that's going to be that. We have the table set for wins, finishes, losses, finishes, and total points. That PlayStation group is going to be killer. One, I mean, I want to watch every single fight on that first PlayStation group. It's going to be amazing to watch. And then finally, this is going to be the structure for the final bracket. Um, so the winners, the first place of group one of each group is going to get a automatic bye to the semifinals. Um, the second place in group one is going to fight the third place in group two, and second place in group two is going to fight the third place in group one. Winner of that's going to fight the first place winners. And then the winners of that will move on to the grand finale to see who will be the final UFC 4 champion and who will earn the first spot in the first title fight in UFC 5 and the title King of the CAF. I'm excited for this. I think this is going to be a great way to send off UFC 4 into a new era, into the of the ICF. It's almost 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm tired. I need to go to bed. But thank you everybody who has hung around the Discord lately. Um, Anybody who might be coming into the Discord after we get this out, a little bit of advertising, a little bit of traction, or maybe you're watching this back far in advance after UFC 5 comes out. Thank you. Thank you for everything. This league means a lot to me, and it means a lot to everybody else on the staff, on on the unpaid staff. Well, I mean, this is all passion project. We do this out of the love of the game, and we wouldn't want we couldn't ask for it to be any other way. Thank you for everybody. I this went on a lot longer than I thought it was going to, but I'm excited to get into it. Starting tomorrow, as soon as this video comes out, I have it already scheduled to come out at noon. So as soon as this drops, we are ready to go and we will get into it. And I will see you out in the out in the cage.